anybody that has uttered any words that touches the integrity of the Holy Prophet, we will punish him.
The clip you just saw is not from a movie trailer, is not from a play, it's the reality of certain or many Christians in northern Nigeria. We are being persecuted on a daily basis. We are being haunted by these Muslim Islamic terrorists in Nigeria on a daily basis, but our government is saying little or nothing about it. They are trying to gaslight us into thinking we are unpatriotic, for thinking that, for seeing what is happening, that our brethren in northern Nigeria are being persecuted on a daily basis because of their faith. And this is unacceptable. Now, according to a Catholic-inspired International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law, says that at least 7,000 Christians were massacred across Nigeria in the first 220 days of 2025. That is 2 Christians per day. Just let that sink in. Let that sink in that every day, approximately 32 Christians are being killed just because of their faith. Now, we understand that in this thing, there is still Muslim casualties and stuff. But it's not comparable when the start, what's top number scream. When you compare the stats, you can never say that there's a systematic attempt to kill Muslims in Nigeria. But there is a systematic attempt to wipe out the Christian majority or minority in northern Nigeria. In the eastern part of Nigeria, where Muslims are minority, you don't see people taking clubs and beating them or hunting them. No, it only happens in northern Nigeria. And now, Bioma, the clip that went viral of Bioma, and is in the United States, and Riangasa, the boxer, calling out what is happening. And now, certain politicians are trying to gaslight us in Nigeria, saying that what we are saying is we are unpatriotic for just saying that this is happening in Nigeria. We are unpatriotic that is deemed as painting the country in bad light. This is what happens in Nigeria. This is gaslighting 101. That they want to gaslight us and tell us that we are no longer, what we are seeing with our eyes is just lies. That the problem is that most of these Muslim politicians, they have their identity is rooted in their religion first. Not even the idea of the united Nigeria. Not even the idea of the unity of Nigeria, where everybody is religious tolerance. You can come from the east, the west, the north. Everybody, come together to make a good Nigeria. But no, their religion comes first, and they're going about trying to tell people that they should deny what they're seeing with their eyes. Now, what fueled the whole thing is the UN. The speech that Vice President Kashim Shettima gave at the UN about the Palestinian genocide happening in Gaza right now. Now, in this context, 2 truths can coexist. The only problem I have with the Vice President is saying that, calling out the genocide happening in Gaza, but he's not calling out the genocide that's happening to Christians in Nigeria. That is a very big problem. I can categorically say that what is happening in Gaza is basically a genocide by the Israeli government. But I can still say that what is happening to Christians in Nigeria is still a genocide. Where the dysfunction comes at is that people that want to recognize the Palestinian genocide still don't want to recognize the Christian genocide happening in Nigeria, that 32 Christians are killed per day in Nigeria. And it's unacceptable. Shame on the government officials that are keeping quiet. Our federal government gave a statement the other day that these are detractors, the enemies of Nigeria, trying to sow disunity in Nigeria. But it's a very big fat lie. People are recognizing the pattern. Christians are running for their lives every day, and bandits are being given plea deals and merciful deals just to be reintegrated into the society after killing and maiming the civilian population. And this brings us to another story that dropped 2 days ago. A young man, Yahya Sharif Aminu, that is about to lose his life. For what reason? Because he allegedly criticized, in their own words, blasphemed Muhammad. How can somebody in 2025 going to lose his life for criticizing a man that existed in the 7th century? It doesn't make any sense to me. Hate speech is protected under freedom of speech. Why is it that you keep saying that Islam is a religion of peace, but every day you keep trying to incite violence, you keep trying to, cancel people or deplatform people just because of what they say? Now let's watch the clip of the report, and then I'll give you my take on that.
Nigeria's Supreme Court on Thursday granted lawyers representing a musician sentenced to death for alleged blasphemy permission to file an appeal outside the legally prescribed time frame. Yahya Sharif Aminu was convicted in 2020 by a Kano State Sharia court for allegedly making blasphemous remarks about the Prophet Muhammad. His legal team argued that the trial was flawed, citing the absence of legal representation during proceedings. Kala Alapini is Sharif Aminu's lawyer.
You must remember that he's still innocent. He's not guilty because the death sentence was quashed about 4 years ago at the appellate division of the Kano State High Court. And then we've gone all through the stairs of the various courts and we're here now. He's still appealing, he's still stating his innocence, that he's not guilty. He doesn't want to go back to the Sharia court for a retrial.
The defense also challenged the constitutionality of sections of Kano State Sharia, or Islamic law, that prescribe capital punishment and amputation, arguing they conflict with Nigeria's secular constitution. Lamido Abbasarandinki represents the Kano State government and defended the original verdict.
We will not condone it. Anybody that has uttered any words that touches the integrity of the Holy Prophet, we will punish him. And let me tell you one thing, this man will be executed if this court, upon the decisions of the law, will execute him.
The case has drawn national and international attention, highlighting tensions between religious law and constitutional rights in Nigeria.
Now, you can see from the council representing Kano State, Aminu Bababa Sarudiki, the evil in his eyes. You can see how joyful, the way he is calling for the public execution of a young man in Nigeria. You know, this person is a learned person. For you to be a lawyer, he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. I don't know what is happening in the bar in Nigeria. He's learned. This person is not an illiterate. He's not somebody that is naive. But still, the ideology, the religion ideology comes first. How can the Sharia law be trumping the Federal Republic of Nigeria's constitution as amended? How is it possible in 2025 that this young man is about to lose his life? But the fact that this has to go all the way to the Supreme Court is even appalling. Other countries like Qatar, these Muslim countries, they don't even have this kind of rules in their country. They don't go to the extreme. They have Sharia law, but they don't go to the extreme. But we're a secular state. There's separation of church and religion and state in our country. We are a secular state. You can criticize Jesus Christ, you can criticize the Vatican, you can criticize churches, you can criticize anything. But there is a set of rules for these Muslims. It's a very big problem. And you keep saying that Nigeria has an Islamophobe problem. No, we are recognizing a pattern. Are all Muslims terrorists? No. But most terrorists happen to come from this same Muslim ideology, this extremist Muslim ideology. And the problem is that moderate Muslims, hardly, just a few of them on Twitter, moderate Muslims hardly call out what is happening in northern Nigeria. They hardly call it out. They always follow the head and follow the crowd just to put their religious fanaticism first before the interest of the country. So I'll keep saying it. No matter how you call me Islamophobic and everything, I have Muslim friends, and most of them agree with me with what I'm saying, that arresting and trying to prosecute somebody or publicly execute somebody just because of what he said, it goes against freedom of speech. And we'll keep saying what we are saying. You cannot shut us down. We are free people in Nigeria. We have freedom of speech. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So make sure you like, subscribe, do all the fun things. Turn on post notifications so you'll be notified anytime I drop another video. You know I love you, but God loves you.